Hi guys, hope you're well. Got a fantastic story for you today, and it is of Jason Hall, a boxer who at the age of 19 went over to Las Vegas and ended up sparring the great Floyd Mayweather for over 4 years. Came back to England where his life crashed into despair and he almost ended up taking his own life. This is a story of triumph over adversity. He is no longer the nearly man. He is Kid London. He is Jason Hall. So hi folks, we've got an absolutely fantastic guest with us here, and it is Jason Kid London Hall.
How do you do?
Yeah, also
the man himself.
Yeah, also the
Nice
nearly man, the nearly man as well.
The nearly man, indeed.
But you know, an extraordinary boxer, hugely talented boxer. And why are you going to do this interview with us?
It's part of being, I suppose, unfinished. Unfinished business is how I'd like to describe it. Unfinished business, being so close to the top all the time, a little bit short of, you know what I mean, a gold or a title or a national hero, if you like. Never got it, but you know, if I do this, this will explain it.
Explain it.
Give me some sort of validation.
We want you to be an inspiration to other people, because
yeah, for sure.
People can learn. You know, like you've got a story to tell, Jason, and people will learn from whatever mistakes you made that didn't get you there.
Yeah.
You can help people learn and help youngsters get there.
Yeah, yeah. I was 19. I said, you know what? I'm going to America. I was going to fly out to New York. I was going to go to Gleason's, the hardest gym on the planet, downtown New York. I was going to go to Gleason's and just play roulette and see what happens. See if I've got it. I've got it.
Yeah, yeah. Test yourself.
You know what I mean? And then my amateur coach, Paddy Hogan, he advised me that was the wrong move. He had a connection in Las Vegas in the name of Cornelius Bozer Edwards. Yeah. So he said, well, I tell you what, this is really what you want to do. I don't agree with it. You in America. He said, anyone in America, full stop, is hard.
Yeah.
Especially for your first part of your career.
Yeah.
Go there at the end, or go there when you made it.
Yeah.
Don't try and make it there. I said, why not? I can make it in America.
Isn't that though a brave thing to do?
Yeah.
So suddenly at 19,
yeah.
Well, what happened to all your family? And didn't you have children?
My girlfriend was pregnant.
Yeah.
I said, I can't believe I'm going to be a father, but I must pursue my dream. I must go to Vegas. Mm-hmm. I grew up watching Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, Duran, but Pernell Whitaker, Mildred Taylor, Marlon Starling, Mark Breland, you name it. You know, the greatest.
It's a terrific era of boxing, wasn't it?
All of them. Julio Cesar Chavez, he was my favourite. Yeah. All of them, you know what I mean? It's like I had to go there, and they always fought in Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas Hilton, and you know what I mean? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go there. So I sold my car. I had a BMW 325i, no 318i, and I sold that. That's me bit of spending money. That's me bit of poke to get me through. My mum had given me a couple of quid. We rented the gaff out that I'd bought. I think we rented it out, I'm not too sure, but my mum carried on paying the mortgage anyway. I had a Staffordshire Bull Terrier that was pregnant. My girlfriend was pregnant, so my sister looks after the staff. The staff gave birth to 11 pups. I turned everyone's life upside down.
How did it go down?
While I turned my life the right way up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
How did it go down with the girlfriend?
Well, the girlfriend said, I ain't going to hold it against you. That's your dream.
Mm-hmm.
This is your dream and you deserve it. So I'm not going to get in your way. She said, we will be patient, we will be here, we will be loyal, but you better fucking make it worth it.
You better fucking achieve your goal. Yeah.
You better go and get the world title.
Yeah.
So off I go to America. It's all set up. I was met at the airport by Cornelius Bozer Edwards.
What was he, a heavyweight?
He was a lightweight.
Was he?
And
he
was
a well-known fighter.
Yeah, he was world champion. He was a world champion in 1984.
Yes.
He originated out of Uganda.
That's it. Yeah.
But he resided in Harrow, West London, northwest London, Harrow. Hence, that's how he knew my trainer. So I get to Vegas. And he picks me up from the airport. Now, it was Tyson Holyfield fight weekend, the first one. Vegas was packed, chock-a-block. You couldn't get in anywhere.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to put you downtown in a motel for your first night. He said, but you must not walk out the door. Any food you need, any bits and pieces, water, drinks, the lot. You stay in this motel. Don't go out. It's dangerous. It's downtown. There was cars all up the road with bullet holes in the window screen. So I said, no problem, I'll stay in the hotel until you come to the motel. They call it a motel, until you come back and get me the next day. So he comes back and gets me the next day, puts me in another gaff, and he gives me a credential to go to Holyfield and Tyson. So I go to Tyson Holyfield. I was mesmerised. This is before I've even put on a glove. I ain't even got me pro. I've not even got me pro license yet.
Yeah.
But I'm at the address. I'm at the address of where I'm about to do me work, but I ain't got me badge yet. And all I see was stardom, glory, success, money.
You could taste it.
And I see possibility. I see potential that I can do this.
Yeah.
Because I thought, do you know what? If I can survive one night in a place like this, which is so full of pressure, I can do it. If I could get through 2 days here in this place, and yeah, that was it. So then Monday morning, he picked me up. He said, I'm taking you down to the gym.
What's it like, that first moment of going in the gym and
Yeah, he said, you're going to meet your trainer.
Yeah.
He said, you're going to meet your new trainer.
Yeah.
I said, oh, who is he? He said, Roger Mayweather. I said, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
I remember him when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I said, I had his poster up on my wardrobe door when I was a kid. He was one of my idols. I said, he got done by my main idol though, Chavez. Who do I say is a Chavez? Great fight, they fought twice.
Yeah.
So he said, well, we'll go down, we'll meet him. He said, and no doubt he's going to want you to see how you shape up.
Yeah, show him.
And I thought, what does he want me to do? Does he want me to go down there and shadow box? Does he want me to go down there with the bag? Or does he want me to go down there and take me on the pads? How? I mean, I've just got off an aeroplane. I'm tired, and I've not had a fight for a long time. I'm fresh.
Yeah.
I ain't had no training, but I'm ready up here.
Mentally, you're fixed on it, yeah.
So we got down there, and then Boza come up to me. He said, right, he said, you're going to spar his nephew. Floyd.
No.
Now, Floyd
Wow.
was in the Olympics
Yeah.
that I wanted to go to in 1996. However, Floyd was the weight below me.
Right.
So it don't mean that we were going to fight each other,
Yeah.
but we would have definitely been neighbours in that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that situation, we would have been neighbours. Especially knowing in my head that I'm going to be coming out to see you soon, son.
Yeah.
I got in the ring and we had a good spar with him. We had an absolute. We had a belter, to be honest with you.
And what was he like, Chase?
He was talking to me constantly during the spar. White motherfucker, I'm going to smoke your ass. I can smell blood in my gym because he gave me a nosebleed. But I had it with him.
Yeah.
And after the spar, everyone clapped. And Roger went to Boza. We're definitely going to look after him. We want him.
Brilliant.
Boza shouted up to the ring to me. He said, you're with the Mayweathers. You're staying with him.
Tell us a little bit more about that sparring. I mean, could you detect that he was the business of what was going to become?
He was very tentative, as was I.
Yeah.
You know, tentative as like, he was holding back his skills and not showing until he'd seen mine. And I was doing the same. I was holding mine back until I could see him because we were both on that like, I want to see what he's got before I show him because I don't want to walk into something and he don't want to walk into something. But he was definitely the first to land.
Was he powerful? Was he powerful?
He was bloody quick. Yeah. He was bullet quick, yeah. And not very strong, but bullet quick. And you know, sometimes speed is harder than power.
Yeah.
Because it's the shock.
It's a shock and you can't
It's
get
like,
into do
you know,
with
it's
it,
like someone's thrown a stone at you from behind. Boom, you're like, fuck me, where's that come from? But that's what it was like. And we had a great spar and then after that, it was every day.
So how long did you spar with him then? How length of time?
We was every day. Well, we would do rounds. Sometimes there'd be no bell. He loved to spar through a bell. If the bell rings at 3 minutes and you drop your hands, you're in trouble because he's going to carry on. He's one of them ones. And he don't never go to touch his gloves at the beginning before the spar because if you go to touch your gloves, he hits you over the top with a right hand. He's known for it, yeah. He says what you say is...
a bit sneaky, is he?
To other people, I suppose the right word would be a liberty taker. But no, what he is, he's just Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And Floyd will know this, he see this now, he remember to this day. You know, he'd stand on the ropes, and I'm not saying he weren't a brilliant fighter, because he was a brilliant fighter. But he was a better defensive tactician than he was fighter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He could win on the defence without coming forward.
Yeah, he'd wear you out.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So what he'd do is he'd take 5 or 6 on his gloves and then he'd catch you with 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Where you'll be throwing about 20
You're using all your energy.
and you'll only land 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, but...
That's a
Did
clever
he-
fighter then, isn't
Did
it?
he have that arrogance at the time? Did he know that he was going to be
he
the greatest?
couldn't believe that Jason Hall has come all the way from from England to America with the resume of silver, runner-up, B team, could have been going to the Olympics. What's happened here? Hold on, he's in the gym now with us. Is he too good for his country? Because that's what it says, doesn't it? It says that I'm saying I'm too good for my country. In my eyes, I was. So that's why I've gone to Vegas. And then what would happen, as we were training and getting familiar with each other, you get used to each other. And I'm not saying I was better than him, but I ain't saying he was better than me either. I'm saying you got used to each other, so spars become easier. In fact, they become a lot more boring. But we would always, at some point, have an argument. And then he would give me my lift home afterwards. And we'd go to lunch. We're going to have dinner in the evening. We lived in the same complex. And he'd pick me up, he'd go, right, we're going to the gym today. And he'd go, my right hand's hurting me a little bit, I'm just going to use my jab. You know, really, you shouldn't be sparring at all if you've only got one hand. But that's how confident he was.
Yeah.
I've only got one hand today, England, so I'm just going to use my jab. You can do what you want, though.
What was he like just outside, socially?
He was polite. He was polite,
Did you feel you got to know him like as a mate or?
I got to know him as a mate,
Yeah.
yeah. I got to know him as a mate. We spoke on the phone every single day. Me and Roger spoke to each other every day.
Yeah.
They do the fist bump in the pound, they call it.
All right, yeah.
After sparring. And even in the car, when I get out of his motor, he go, good work, England. Never Jason. England. Or London. Yeah. So...
So that was a good time in your life, wasn't it, Jason? Yeah.
So then my first fight gets made, and they was more excited about it than me. All of the camp, the Golden Gloves gym, which is not there no more, which is where Tyson was training for Holyfield. It's where all the greats were coming in. It was a raw iron roof with solid brick walls, with no aircon in the winter. No aircon in the summer. No heating in the winter.
Yeah.
It was a hellhole, and it was just there was 3 rings, and all you could feel when you went in there was heat. Heat. If it weren't heat from temperature, it was heat from people's body language.
Yeah.
And especially when you're the only white fella in there, you think, bloody hell.
Did you get stick because of that?
They just thought, you know, there ain't many good white fighters in the world. Yeah. I suppose white fighters, we always had that way about us, didn't we? That, you know, we had a reputation. There ain't many world champions of white fighter. But little did they know I was going to stand and prove them wrong. And they made my appointment for my pro debut at the Las Vegas Hilton. And these are the gloves. These are the gloves that were given to me. And they've been autographed by a lot of the famous stars and boxers. And this is the details on there. It'll tell you there. Kid London.
Yeah, Jason Hall. Pro debut Las Vegas Hilton, 4th of April, 19th of April 1997.
Yeah, and the result?
TKO over Johannes Musa.
Johannes Musa.
Johannes Musa.
At 1 minute 39 of the first round.
Wow, that's
now
a good
that
one.
fight was on the undercard. It weren't even on the undercard. It was the bloody show opener. I was the first fight on. It was the undercard of Junior Jones and Marco Antonio Barrera. And it was a who's who of stars there. A who's who. Richard Steele was going to be the referee. Michael Buffer was going to be the MC. Roger Mayweather was going to be in my corner with Miguel Diaz and Rafael Gonzalez. My outfit is made for me by Roger's sister, Floyd's auntie. Going to have a nice outfit. Going to have my white shorts with the red and blue trim. Kid London.
Kid London.
Kid London.
Yeah.
Debuting at the Las Vegas Hilton.
That's amazing.
the shorts are being made in Detroit. Now, Floyd is from Michigan, obviously, but they're from Grand Rapids. But the auntie, she lives in Detroit. Now, their post in Detroit is terrible. It's like that part of Michigan is on lockdown constantly. There's no post. It used to be the Motor City.
Yeah. That's right.
And now it's all derelict.
Yeah.
You can't rely on a postcard even getting there. It might get there in 2 years, you know what I mean? But that's where my outfit is. And it hasn't arrived. It hasn't arrived in Vegas on the Thursday or the day of the weigh-in, Friday. So I'm thinking to myself, hold on, I've got no shorts. Got me boots, and I've got myself. But I need a pair of shorts. Now, there was a little bit of an English amount of people in Vegas, and they were people that had gone out there for work, and they had emigrated, and they're working in conventions and whatnot, and it's good money, and they want to change the scenery. You know, they're not really sports people, but they're English, and they're all hanging around in this place called the Crown and Anchor, and the name of the road was called East Flamingo. And Boza took me down there. He took me down there 2 days before the fight with 25 tickets to go to Marco Antonio Barrera, Junior Jones, but not really them, to go and see me, to give me some support. 25 tickets. I think these tickets were all like $200 a ticket. And that was 25 years ago.
Yeah, 1997, yeah.
These are expensive tickets. So he said, go down to the English pub, I'm going to show you. I know a few
28
people.
years ago.
28 years ago.
Yeah.
28 years ago at $200 a
That's
ticket.
a lot of money
few
then,
quid.
yeah.
And he said, you're going to give out these 25 tickets to the English crowd in this pub. And I said, what about me shorts though? What about me shorts? He said, we'll sort something out. Well, when we went in this pub, it was called the Crown and Anchor. It's an English pub in Las Vegas, owned by an English couple who had gone out there years ago, built the business up, and it was lovely. It was thriving. And is that the word, thriving?
Yeah,
It was thriving.
yeah.
It was on the boil, it was nice. Now, there's a fella in there, his name was Daryl Elbert. You remember this, Daryl? You catch up on this one. He is the brother-in-law of Kevin Saunders. Kevin Saunders was the trainer of Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn's last fight against Steve Collins, he lost, didn't he?
That's right.
Twisted his ankle,
Yeah, that was it.
and the fight was stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so sad to see. I was a big fan of Nigel
I
Benn's.
love him. Yeah.
He went straight to Vegas the next morning in Manchester, from Manchester, after that Steve Collins fight, with Kevin Saunders. And they stayed at this Daryl's house, because he's family. And he didn't want to be seen. Nigel wanted to, you know, just digest, process that he's just been beaten. That's the end of his career. And he's left all his gear there. He's left his gloves there, his boots there. He's left his shorts there. He's left everything there, all his belongings. So when we've gone in this pub, me and Boza's telling Daryl, we have a predicament, only one predicament, that I've got no shorts. So Daryl comes forward and says, he can borrow Nigel Benn's shorts. I said, they won't fit. He said, don't worry about it, you've got no choice. Fighting in 2 days. So he gives me Nigel Benn's shorts that very night. He went to his house, when he got the shorts, brought the shorts back to the pub, said, take them home, wear them, try them on. If they're no good, they're no good. But if they're no good, you still got to wear them.
Yeah.
They're Nigel Benn shorts, of course I'm going to wear them. And you had Ben on the waistband, no fear on the arse, and the names of his children on his legs. And on the left leg he had Connor.
Wow.
Oh, well.
And Connor's 28 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that's 28 years ago.
Yeah.
Hence the
Yeah.
gloves,
Yeah.
1997. So Boza says to me, how'd you get on with the shorts? I said, yeah, the shorts work. Yeah, they're nice, they fit. I've never worn black shorts before though. So out the window goes me white shorts with me red and white trim and me Kid London.
Yeah.
I've got the Dark Destroyers shorts on, didn't I? So I'm wearing these shorts, Richard Steele, Michael Buffer.
What
Last-
was your walkout music? Did
No
you have
music.
No music, no?
No music.
No.
I was new, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I was like, I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about nothing. I just thought about getting out there and doing a job. And I went out there and I absolutely listened to Roger every time he was saying something. I was doing it. And he said to me before I got off the stall for the 3rd round, he said, I ain't got to tell you this time now, go and get him. So I went out there and I just went body shot, hook to the head, and he went over. And it was the body shot that never let him get up. It wasn't the head shot, and I say that to being a polite person. It was a body shot.
Oh, this one that recovered.
I was supposed to drop the guard so I can get the hook. But he went down, and I was really pleased with myself. So was everybody.
What was it like having your hand raised in Vegas, in Las Vegas?
Oh, it was a dream come true. My first fight,
Gone there. You know what I mean? You'd achieved it.
And they said on that, they said the people there, it was a main events card. They were the people, the promoters, the Doovers. Lou Dover and Dan Dover, big promoters, main events. It was on ABC Live, an American channel. They wanted to sign me immediately. They said, we like this kid. Said to Boza, we like this kid. Definitely we're interested in signing this kid. So it all went off with a bloody successful bang. So then after this first fight, what they do in Vegas, other big fighters are coming into town, I'm talking like an American now, coming into town, all the stars, the world champions, they need sparring partners just before they go to camp. Or if they're in town to have a title fight, they need someone to impersonate their sparring, their opponent. God, dear. I was inundated with jobs. I didn't need a box. I had fighters coming in, well, not the actual fighters, the promoters or the managers would come in and they'd always go to Roger. They'd go, Roger, can we have Floyd? You ain't having Floyd. Can we have Stevie Forbes? I was sparring with Stevie Forbes all the time. You can't have him. What about the English kid? Even his managers wouldn't call me Jason. Even the other fighters.
It's English London.
No one knew me as Jason. It was Kid London, the white kid, the London kid. So they'd ask me. He'd go, yeah, he'll go. Roger wouldn't even have to ask me. He'd go, he'll go. I ain't got to ask him. He will go.
And that was, you was that hungry for it,
and he'd go, do you want to go to Big Bear with Kennedy McKinney? Do you want to go to Big Bear with Shane Mosley? You remember this one, Shane? Do you want to go to Big Bear with Justin Duco? Do you want to go to Top Rank Gym up the road? I was in a predicament with that because Costa Zoo was fighting Vince Phillips. And I was sparring Vince Phillips. And then Costa Zoo people have asked Roger, can I go over to Top Rank and spar Costa Zoo?
Wow.
How can I be sparring the two geezers?
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened with De La Hoya. I could have been sparring De La Hoya, but his opponent that he was fighting when he was in Vegas was a guy called Frankie the Surgeon Randall. Frankie Randall was the guy that gave Julio Cesar Chavez his first defeat, his first loss. Julio Cesar Chavez was 99 fights, 99 wins. His 100th fight was against Frankie the Surgeon Randall from Pennsylvania, and Frankie beat him. And now he's going to come to Vegas and fight De La Hoya, but he needs someone to spar. And someone who's good, and someone who's game, and someone who's up for it. So I can't really spar Oscar De La Hoya because they would be asking me questions what Floyd's like.
Yes.
Because they look down the line already, these people. They can already tunnel vision and see where this story is all going. So don't let London go to De La Hoya, because he might tell De La Hoya what Floyd's like and guarantee they're going to ask me. You know, so I spar Frankie Randall. Frankie Randall was a liberty taker, and you probably know that. You're still alive and all, Frankie Randall. But he hit me with a right hand, and he was known for a force. That's why they called him a surgeon, because everyone he knocked out went to hospital. Roger jumped up and just said, you know, nah, you're taking the piss out of him. He was a welterweight. I was fighting at lightweight. And I'd only had 2 fights. He's been world champion twice.
That's right, yeah.
But it goes on. It goes on. Then there was Stevie Johnston, the world lightweight champion that beat Billy Shaw. Nice fella, Stevie Johnston, a little bit bad. Denver, Colorado. I'd done 6 weeks with him in Vegas. Not in my gym though, over the road at Top Rank Gym, Bob Arum's gym. And Floyd would always say to me in the evening on the phone, how'd you get on? 2 weeks go by. How did Stevie get on? They know I'm doing well. How's he getting on? Because the fella he was getting ready to defend his belt against was a guy called Cesar Bazan. really tall lightweight, 5'11", and little but bad. Stevie Johnston was very small. That's why he needed me. But and when he went on to have that fight for that title against Cesar Bazan, he lost, got beat, and I felt terribly. I felt half responsible in a way, because you know they say, we don't remember what they say anyway, because I'm going to say it, and it's the truth. If you have hard sparring, you ain't going to perform well. Mm-hmm. You got to have balanced sparring. You got to have good sparring. You got to have hard sparring, but you can't be having sparring where you're just getting hit all the time. Do you know what I mean? You don't learn from that.
Yeah. Do you think though, Jace, that you got lost a bit in as a sparring partner for too many people?
Well, what it was,
and it affected
I couldn't get matched over there because of all this sparring. I couldn't get matched.
Because you knew every fighter's skills and his talents.
So then when they put me on all the other shows, I ended up fighting in 4 years.
Did you have 5 fights?
I had 5 fights.
Yeah.
And that's like a fight a year.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind, because by the time, if you put all that sparring together, I'm having top shelf sparring, top level elite sparring with Mosley, Morales, McKinney, Costa-Zoo. I ended up sparring Costa-Zoo, Stevie Johnston, Justin Duco, Stevie Forbes, Zab Judah, Floyd. You know Floyd. I mean, that was like, you may as well call me 40 fights.
Yeah.
Not 5
Who
fights.
was your toughest sparring partner?
My toughest sparring? God, yeah, that's an hard one. I'd have to. I'm going to be honest with you. I would have to say my toughest spar probably was Kennedy McKinney. The first time I went to Big Bear, because I'll tell you why. I mean, we all know, don't we? This is it, Floyd. It's going to be Floyd all day long. He's the hardest. He's the best out there.
Yeah.
But when I went to Big Bear for my first time to go and spar Kennedy McKinney, who got a gold medal at the Olympics in Seoul, 88. He was also IBO champion, IBF and WBA, all right? Well, when I got up to Big Bear, California, they didn't come down off the mountain, come and get me in Vegas and take me up there a week before sparring and get me acclimated so my lungs were big.
Yeah.
My manager, Bozer Edwards, he drove me to the mountain while they'd already been up there 4 weeks. And I sparred on my 3rd day. I couldn't breathe. It was like I had someone's hand over my mouth. So that's why I call it my hardest spar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that balanced out, and I took control eventually. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he was strong. He was good. He had a good jab, but
Was the money good though with the sparring?
The money was good. Yeah, I was on
standard of living.
Oh, I was on $200 a spar, and that was 28 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Your 5 fights. So did you win all your fights?
Yeah. And then what happened? I had a cuts defeat. In my second one.
Yes.
But that didn't affect nothing. I was still getting on shows like when we wanted to. When I went, I couldn't go on Floyd's undercard ever, because he was with Bob Arum, and I had been on a main events show for my first fight, and they was interested in me, and there was some sort of political argument there that I can't go on them undercards, because if I go on one undercard there with top rank, then I ain't going to get signed by main events. And then, I don't know, somewhere along the line I slipped the net. Then I got a phone call from London now, and it's Ernie Fossey. My mate called me, he said, Ernie Fossey's been on the phone. He said, Frank Warren wants you to come back, have a chat, and see where you are, like, in terms of making a decision to come back to England. I said, what for? He said, well, when you was out in Big Bear, California, Frank Maloney was out there with Lennox Lewis, which he was. I see Lennox every day. And he said, Frank said it looked to him like you were just being used. You were the odd one out. And I'll tell you why he said that. Because I was up there sparring Justin Duco. And Justin Duco, one day, he had a headache from me sparring the day before. And he didn't want to spar. So I went to the gym anyway, regardless, and I sparred Mosley. Why am I sparring Mosley? Because I want to, because I love it, and because I'm good enough. That don't mean I'm being used. I didn't want money or anything. I thought, you know what, I spar Mosley. So I got the best out of that.
And you didn't have no actual manager at this time?
No.
Or you was just with a training
Me,
team?
me and Cornelius Bozer Edwards was verbal agreement for 4.5 years. To Frank Maloney, it may have looked like I was being used. What? Because, I'm not sparring Justin Duco today, and I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to get in the ring with Mosley. And Mosley didn't take liberties. I mean, he was world champion then.
That sounds like you've been living the dream there, doesn't it? You know what I mean? But I want to hear the bit where you get round to it and fuck it all up.
That's what we want to hear.
That's the bit I was good at.
Oh, you ain't going to believe it.
Walks and all. That's what we want to hear.
I know what you mean, yeah.